So here I am at this beautiful location, Port Authority, Black River kayak canoe launch, boat launch. I'm all ready to go, but I have this terrible stomach ache. Time is slipping away. So what I'm gonna do is take my big gun and walk along, see if there's like a trail along the water edge. I talked to a woman who is getting her yak right now, and said the wind isn't too bad. It sucks, man. It's like my only day. Maybe it'll pass. There it is. Our tax money at work. It's a nice little place. It looks like there's a path over here. Or is that a tree? I haven't been here in a long time. I imagine there's paths. Oh, stomach cramps. I'm gonna put this away for now. Big, huge buck tracks. A lot of litter. A lot of litter. Wow. It sucks. During my downtime, I met a woman named Janie who was giving me some intel on the conditions out there, which the conditions are looking really good. I'm gonna take this walk. I did find a path. That was her first time being here, and she said she loved it. She's one of me. She's like me, as I usually come in through French Creek, but the boat launch is not open there, and it's a little tricky to get to. Well, they might have the gate closed, the chain. I don't want to risk that. This place closes at dusk, which I'm not going to be. Dusk? Dawn? Yeah, dusk. I don't plan on being here after dark. Oh, hope the stomach ache stops. I've been sick for a couple days. Terrible cramps. Can't eat anything. And sitting in the kayak is like a really bad position. It's pushing on my stomach. I'm gonna loosen my belt. Oh. I have a magnetic belt for photography and other purposes that I can undo at will. I forget the name of that company. I bought one for my dad for Father's Day or something, Christmas or something like that. I get all those holidays mixed up. We don't technically celebrate holidays in our Jehovah Witness family. I am not a Jehovah's Witness, by the way. I'm my own entity. It's pretty nice back here. Oh, my friend, she's the one that controls that bridge. She's been working there forever, and I did her son's senior pictures. Man, this camera gets heavy after a while. Alright, I'm just gonna keep walking and hope for the best. Looks like a party spot. Lots of aluminum. There's some guys fishing over there under the bridge. Bass boat. Probably be some white bass or something. Steelhead are already gone. Now it's going to be smallmouth season. They might hook into a smallie. Oh, a little bit more walking, and then I might be able to squeeze an hour out of tonight. After that, it becomes too low a light to shoot in. Right now it's perfect. It's cloudy bright. It's all even. But Physical limitations, man. You can't avoid them. So now I've come to the no trespassing zone. Looks like someone's been here before me. This is a nice piece of art right here. We got people bass fishing over there. There's a bridge. I can hear some voices. They're up on top of the bridge. Some kids. Trespassing. Everything is so privatized anymore. It's ridiculous. Should have brought some of my stickers for down here. I'll do that next time. That way is Lake Erie. Some more graffiti. Purdy. Some more up there. I think I'm in the clear now. Might be able to sit in a kayak and smash my stomach without fear of repercussions. Actually, I want to go down here for a second. I'm gonna put the camera down. See if I can find any dead animals. Actually, those aren't kids. It's actually Mary Jo, my friend, talking with someone. I recognize her voice. Yep, dude's walking out of the office. And so am I. I am walking into the woods and I saw a game trail right here that I'm gonna follow because it's still shed season. Might get lucky. These two things do not mix. There's a bunch of them over there. So don't do what Johnny Don't does. Don't go out here in sandals like I do. No one listens to my advice anyways, but I will say it anywho. It's a recipe for disaster. Look at that one. If I wasn't careful about where I walked. Watch me step on one right now. Game trail still goes through that way. Some people can't see game trails, but to me it's like lit up with neon fluorescent signs. I can spot game trails a mile away, man. Some mustard. And I don't like, as I stated before in another video, I don't like to come back the same way I came in. Even though it might be dangerous. I'll say this again, I feel like a broken record. Most of the things I do are dangerous and or illegal. I'm gonna take this piece of garbage, it's aluminum, and I'm going to recycle it for gas money. That's how I roll. One of the things I do is I look at these overturned trees and look for flint arrowheads. They will shine as they come to the surface. They've been buried for hundreds of years, if not longer. I have quite a collection. So you can still see this trail, barely. Deer are smart. They are very zen when it comes to woods. They like to travel from A to B to C with the least amount of resistance. It's actually Taoism, the flowing of the Tao, T-A-O. But we're not going to get into philosophy. Give me some bones, man. Give me some bones. It looks like I came across a massive pit. No idea the purpose. I also see a target. Human inhabitants. Oh, it must be in the back of someone's yard or something. Or the end. Some kind of dump pile up there. They probably come back here and shoot. I have no idea where I'm at. It doesn't matter. I try to get lost in the woods. Maybe there'll be some bones around here. But it's a nice target. It's actually new. It hasn't been used. I guess maybe they were planning on target practice. It's funny that a kayak trip is turning into a trip through the woods. I'm gonna start heading that way. I don't know if I'm going in the right direction, but it can't go on forever. I try all the time to get myself lost in the woods. Found the game trail again. It looks like somebody was camping out here. I'm gonna go check that out. Mostly just illegal dumping. There's the remnants of an old tent from long ago, though. There's a hairbrush. Let's keep going. Some soap. There's something back there. Another piece of aluminum. Somebody was chowing down out here. This looks like a good place to chow down. Nice and secluded. Damn briars. I'll have to do a tick check when I get back. One of the items that I bring along is a backwater assault paddle. It even says assault on it. It's got a hook for pulling you in. You can break branches, chop them up. I always have it, and it's good for fine tuning when you want to get in there. I didn't bring my. I have a weighter system, a weight anchor system. But I didn't bring it because I don't think there's going to be anything worth stopping for. This is going to be a relatively short jaunt. So let's do it, man. Let's see how it is on the takeoff. I guess you got to pull yourself out. I just got a slight wake from passerby. Not a big deal. But you'll notice when you have a wake, the signs here, like over there, says no wake. If you got a boat that's docked, it's not cool. If you're in a kayak or a canoe, it's even less cooler. But they weren't doing anything wrong. Alright, let's do this. Let's see how it goes. I'm scared. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here we are. Out on the Black River. And I gotta like start bringing my microphone system so you can hear me. So I'm not yelling. And it is windy just like I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna go out to the ghost boat. The ghost ship. I think it's called Canadian Spirit or something. I don't remember. We'll find out when we get there. I used to go in it a lot. I'm sure you can't hear me. Got the microphone facing. We used to break into this boat a lot. The kids still do it, I guess. But there's a whole there was a whole section where you could go into the belly of the boat, and there were all these like, you know, like jars and various tools. What happened is it sunk at some point, and I can look it up one day when it's important. It sunk, and whoever owned it didn't want to pay the towing charges to the tugboats and the barges to get it out of here, even though it's a pretty hefty hunk of steel. Probably could have got some money for it, but I don't know, maybe he died. I don't know. It's not my job to know. I used to frequent this a lot. And there's another area further down, which I'm not going to get to. I'm very out of shape, as you can tell. Yeah, 50-something-year-old muscles ain't what they used to be. Ain't what they used to be. Anyways, there's a place called Monkey Island, and me and the father-in-law have been talking about it for years. To go out on this island and camp out for a night, just to do it. Let's just say we camped out on Monkey Island. And maybe one day it'll happen. Can't see it. There's a bunch of graffiti over there, and this is big barges come in here. Lorraine used to be the steel capital of the world. Literally. That's what my grandfather worked in. He bought all these houses back in the whatever days, post-war era, for the people who worked in the Ford plant. Gave them big discounts. And now my cousin lives in that house that I pretty much grew up in for the first 4 years of my life until my father adopted me. But generally this would be filled up with giant ore piles, and now I don't really know what that is. Concrete stuff? I don't know. I'm not a historian, I'm a photographer, but I figured if I'd give a little background, this video might have some interest instead of being just some weirdo dude with a big camera out on the river of black. And this river lives up to its name, that's for sure, because this water is always trepid. It is, you can never see the bottom, ever. I mean, there's shallow parts if you go way, way, way upstream, miles, to Burr Oak Park and beyond, where they don't dredge it. They made this river really deep for the specific purpose of exporting iron ore to the rest of the world. Lorraine is the steel city. It's interesting. You got this big hunk of steel here. It's rotting away. I gotta put my jacket on, but I know if I stop, I'm going to go about 40 feet back. Keep on keeping on until we're not gonna go past this bridge because I just don't have the stamina. There's not enough light to shoot in, And I have no idea when this park closes. And I'm going to be shooting the sunset. And there's all kinds of buried trees. Their branches sticking up. It's kind of unnerving. But Lake Erie is that way. And generally I'll go in through another entrance. French Creek, which is miles upstream. But they're not even open right now. Alright, I'm going to save some of this videoage until there's something interesting. We're almost there. Here we are at the ghost ship. The Canadian something, I can't remember. It's actually shifted a lot. It used to be parallel to the shore, and now it's sinking. Scary. Ooh. Still got the rope tied to it. Somebody has pushed the lifeboat into the water. That's funny. That lifeboat used to be up there. Of course, people had to spray paint it and stuff. You smell the oil. I just found out the real name of this boat. It's right there. The SS Ballsack Johnson. Now we know what it's called. It's not the Canadian whatever. It's the SS Ballsack Johnson. When it gets warmer, not today, when I have more time, we're gonna take a ride on the SS Ballsack Johnson and check out the interior, or at least as far as we can. We'll check out the upstairs. There is no more interior, it's all underwater now. It's kind of cool. A landmark. Ballsack. I'll see you later. Go check out these ospreys and see what they're up to. Very energetic. The lifeboat. Spooky, man. Ooh. Maybe I should do a dare and spend the night on the SS Ballsack. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Does anyone want to dare me to sleep out here? I'd have to sleep like a wedge so I wouldn't roll into the water at night. If anyone out there wants me to take the dare, I'll do it. If the price is right. Because I don't want to waste my night spending the night on a haunted ship for no reason. But I'll do it. I ain't scared. I ain't spending the night in that though. Tain't not, man. Spending the night in there. Crazy. Probably full of sewage water. I don't know how it's floating. filled with water. I'd take this camera off, but I'm afraid I'll drop it in the water. So. But it used to be, that boat used to be right there. There's the kajigger that lowers the lifeboat. Back in the day, we still had life jackets in there, and I have one of them in my garage somewhere. They still had them in the compartments up there. Somebody wrote "no wake," or they spray painted "no wake" there. Might as well use it as a sign. Oh, let's see. Got some really stupid graffiti. What? If somebody dares me to sleep on that, and if the price is right, I will do very long infrared exposures and see if we can pick up any ghosts. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know if you guys believe in ghosts. Doesn't really matter what you believe, because what is. There's a red-winged blackbird right on the top of that. Chirping away. If the background wasn't this dull mucus nothing, I would take a picture of it, but it's not worth it. Pick and choose your photographs. Pick and choose. Just don't photograph everything and anything. You'll learn that over time. And to the veterans, you already know what I'm talking about. I think I'm going to coast for a little bit. Just coast. So much garbage and litter. It's unreal. I think we've entered upon a nesting Canadian goose right here. We're not going to disturb her. We're good. We're going to slowly go away. Don't get up. Don't get up. We're good, buddy. Good. Just passing through, man. Woman. Oh, look at the tension in those eyes. Okay. Just passing through. Too cold to get up off those eggs now. Gotta have respect for wildlife. If you do what I do, you should just have respect for wildlife in general. People kind of disregard Canadian geese as like pests and unwanted. Here comes some right now. But they're living creatures just like everything else, everyone else. And they deserve the same respect that you would like to get from others. Ooh, there's a big blue heron right here. Oh man, they're big when they're up close. I wish I could zoom in, but I have to turn the camera off for it. He's gonna take off. They don't let you get too close, typically, when they're older like that. That's a big one. I could be doing a portrait right now. Maybe I will. You might tolerate me for a minute. Yeah, I'm surprised you let me get that close, to tell you the truth. I did a couple shots through the foliage here, these branches. It's one thing when you're doing wildlife like that, you can use the things that you try to avoid otherwise to make an interesting composition. So many times where I've used branches to isolate the face of an animal. So there's an estuary down here. We're not going to go to it today. I don't have enough time. But that's where the fledglings will be coming out and touching water for the first time. And when you go through it, when you go on it, which many people don't even know it exists, it's like going back in time, like Jurassic Park. And it's very strange because they sound, like as you just heard, they have a distinct sound all their own, which I imagine like pterodactyls back in the prehistoric whatever days. There were like so many dinosaur eras that I can't even keep track of it. I love dinosaurs, I've loved them all my life, but there were dinosaurs before there were dinosaurs. Basically, these birds, and it's been argued that Tyrannosaurus Rex, stuff like that, had feathers. Who am I to argue? I'm not. But if you really look at their whole makeup, they're like birds. So in my mind, the great blue heron, which is what I kind of got the name for my logo and kind of not. I was doing some LSD around a campfire in my backyard and I came up with it. So the sea chicken is an eyeball. And if you read my novel, you'll understand why chickens are such a integral part of my psychosis. The word sea chicken is, I mentally derived it from the blue heron, the great blue heron, because it's an integral part of my entire life, being here on the Great Lakes. I have not seen one skull. But anyways, sea chicken is spelled as S-E-A, as sea as water chicken, but it has multiple different meanings. And there you go. I hope this video has not been too boring. Fish jumped. I don't fish much in the Black River except for carp, and that's in the shallow areas. You can catch some big catfish and big carp here. If you're into like bucket fishing, those are your fish. Really, this river is not that great for much else. It's too trepid. Fish like steelhead trout, they can't see through it. It's just blackish. Brackish is the word, not blackish. It's not a very fishable river. You can catch a lot of sheephead, freshwater drum, whatever you want to call them. I don't typically fish at all in the Black River unless I'm way up when it bottoms out, when it's really, I shouldn't say bottom out because then you think of downstream. When it's upstream, when it's still forming, it's very shallow, and they dredge it all the way up to a point, like I stated earlier, and you can actually see the carp through the water because it's only, so many feet deep. If you want to catch carp in this type of water, you're gonna have to bucket fish. Just throw a worm out, throw some dead chicken livers or something, whatever, and wait. I'm not a bucket fisherman. I'm an angler, as you'll see in my title, Instagram, whatever. I can't sit around and wait. Like, I can't even watch a movie. I have to be making some art. I gotta be doing something. The only time I'm not doing something is when I'm asleep. But then I'm doing a lot in my sleep. Whole life is like a fire gone in control. Madness, contained madness. That's a good terminology for it. I don't think we're gonna get any sunset shots. Sorry guys, ladies, gentlemen, all those acronyms in between. It sure is nice to be out here. It sure is nice to be alive, I think, because I don't really know what it'd be like to be dead. There's a scene in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket where he's narrating and they're burying like 50 murdered Vietnamese and throwing lime on them. And in the narrative he says, the dead only know that it is better to be alive. It's a very interesting philosophical point of view. It's very interesting. How do we know that the dead know it's better to be alive? If you're into religious theology and ideology, supposedly nirvana, heaven, wherever you go, Shangri-La, is better than being alive. So why doesn't everyone just jump off a bridge? That's the question. The reality is no one's ever come back, unless you want to argue about religious whatever. No one's ever come back and said, hey, it's great. They just don't come back. But with that being said, energy, in my opinion, cannot be destroyed. It was created at one time, but it cannot be destroyed. So there is the prospect of a mental energy remaining in our physical existence that we're experiencing now, our four-dimensional state of being. So if there is a residual where, like, say something bad happens, something unresolved, an early unforeseen death that should not have taken place, or someone dies in their sleep, there could be, because I don't say that I know for a fact about anything. I only have opinions, and I've forged them on what I've experienced in my life, what I've seen visually, as I'm a photographer. You got to show me the proof a lot of the time. I gotta hear it. I gotta hear a Bigfoot before I can believe that I'm gonna see it. Not necessarily the case. Like, visually, I'm a visual person. Show me the proof. I guess they're done riding their dirt bikes. They're eyeing me like I was gonna steal their stuff. Anyways, there is, in my mind, the possibility of ghosts. They could exist. Actually, in my mind, anything that you can comprehend in this dimension, in this universe, or if you want to correlate the two, can exist if your mind can create it, because where else did your mind come from? So that's why I don't debate religions, theologies, ideologies, anything like that. If there could be a Shangri-La, these Tibetan monks could be looking right at it and we didn't know. We can't see it because they're in another dimension. You know, we're not going to get into all that. The point I was trying to get into is, if there's a ghost on this ship, I could have infrared camera set up. Not saying that infrared is the only thing that'll pick up a ghost, but I'll be filming with 2 GoPros and a 360 camera, and I'll have my infrared camera. I might have 2. I'll set it up all over. I'll be shooting as long as I can until sleep takes over. If there is some kind of entity on this boat, right there. The creakiness of this thing almost sounds like a blue heron. If there is any entity on this ship, for some reason, maybe it's the owner. But the owner, from what I heard, he died. But that could be fiction, because I don't know. There's a bald eagle. The sky is just so crappy right now. And that's one of the reasons nobody wanted to take up the bill to get this thing out of here. Maybe he haunts this ship. And if he does, maybe I can meet him. Could be a woman. Or an acronym. I don't know. It's probably a guy, because this was like the 1940s. And women didn't equalize until much later. 1970s. Even now, it's still a male-dominated society. Less male-dominated than other places I've been to, like India. I shouldn't have said that. They had a female president once. I think they killed her though. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And now, I feel like it doesn't matter what sex you are, as long as you get the job done. That sounds kind of weird. It is weird. Anyways, if somebody wants to dare me to sleep on this thing, show me the money, like, you know, Cuba Gooding Jr. said in that one movie with what's his nuts? Tom Cruise. I've met a few times. Kind of a douchebag. Well, in my opinion, nah, I'm not gonna say anything about Scientology. To each his own. He's just kind of a douchebag. He lived in my hometown. not hometown. I'm not even gonna say anything anymore. He's a good dude. Good dude. Whatever. But here's the thing. Show me the money, and I'll sleep on this all night. All night long, baby. All night long. The smell of the diesel is, or the oil coming off this thing is intense. You can smell the color. Upper Canada Chatham. That's it right there. Right there. I knew it was Canada something. I'm gonna have to backtrack and get a picture of that. I've never seen this in the water before. This is gonna be a cool photo. That's my great blue heron impersonation. Sea chicken. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this video for good and take a picture of this Upper Canada Chatham. Don't you know, 12 people. It came from the Upper Peninsula. Actually, it came from Canada, probably. Whatever. Remember, I meant what I said. Show me the money.